Welcome, bibliophiles, to Booktopia!
The podcast that uncovers the hidden and not so hidden treasures in the enchanting world of books.
Join us as we embark on literary escapades, one page at a time. I am Lori Jane Abao, a voracious reader, especially when it comes to historical fiction.
I am Zareen Jaime, an avid reader with an insatiable appetite for stories, especially romance.
I'm Jehazikaya Rain, fantasy, sci-fi, queer-inclined books reader.
Get ready to turn the pages and unleash your inner bookworm with us on Booktopia.
In our past episode, we talked about a different book and gave a sneak peek, just like one chapter for our next one. Did you guys guess what it is?
Well, for today's episode, we have Kite Runner, a powerful and emotionally gripping novel written by Khalid Hosseini.
It is a work of historical and literary fiction that tells an unforgettable story spanning several decades and delves into topics such as friendship, betrayal, redemption, and the devastating impact of war on people.
Wow, what a story! I'm feeling excited about this book. Now then, shall we start with chapter 2, Zaireen?
Okay, chapter 2 starts with a glimpse into the childhood friendship between Amir, the protagonist, and his loyal servant Hassan. They shared memories with each other, such as playing pranks on the neighbors, and how Ali, Hassan's father, would get mad only with Hassan because Hassan never tattled on Amir.
Childhood memories are really dear to us. Do you remember playing with your friends too? Perhaps also doing some mischievous tricks like what Amir and Hassan does in chapter 2?
That's true, we can all relate to them. I wasn't a troublemaker back then, but my kuya was. I remember we'd have fights, wrestling as a game, and one time he held a pellet gun aimed 1 inch away from me. It hurted like hell.
Oh my god, I would cry so bad if I were in your position. I bet that was really scary at that time, but quite funny to remember now, huh? And now, going back to the story, Amir and Hassan are really close to each other despite their class differences. Amir is the son of a wealthy businessman, and Hassan is the son of the family's Hazara servant. For your information, Hazaras are a minority group in Afghanistan, and they are looked down upon by other people. Amir's father, or Baba, just like how he calls him in the book, was always busy. Like, he really did not spare that much time for Amir. Moreover, he was emotionally distant with Amir. Amir wanted to spend time with his father even if he would have to sit in a room which smelled like tobacco and cinnamon. But his father would decline and say that it's grown up time. Like, what? And he would leave Amir outside in the hallway. That really happened all the time. But I think the reason why it led to that happening is because Baba is a widower. I'm not saying this as an excuse, but Amir's father died while giving birth to Amir, which I think made him, which is Baba, feel lonely and distant with Amir. Kids just longing for some love, but then he got, yeah, you know what I mean. Anyways, talk about childhood trauma, huh?
His childhood is really sad. He would bring that pain even when he becomes an adult. I guess even if he had a close friend, he would probably still struggle with the feeling of loneliness because of his parents.
Right. Children who have a strained relationship with their parents and really don't know why they do really breaks my heart. I remember someone saying, children begin by loving their parents after a time they judge them. Rarely, if ever, do they forgive them.
Oh, you guys, I might have to cry after this podcast. Moving on, Kaya, can you continue the story?
Sure, this part tells how he has been to Hassan's house. I guess mostly in this part, it focuses on how much different the life Amir and Hassan lives. Amir with a big mansion and Hassan in a mud shack. In this chapter, the story about Hassan's mother was revealed, and in fact, ran off her green-eyed and beautiful-looking mother, Sinaubar. Sinaubar left Hassan and his father with polio, Ali, alone. Imagine the pain both of them had to endure. Hassan was left with a disabled father, and Ali, who was disabled, had to take care of a child. This endless, painful life they lived didn't end there. Amir remembered when he was 8, younger children would call Ali Babalu or the Boogeyman and more horrible names.
It's really horrible. But despite that, thankfully, Ali and Hassan stays kind.
Their lives are really sad. Ali, he's really such a kind soul, if that's what you call it. And the kids, both of them are going through different types of pain, even if they're still children.
It's really sad that because of his appearance and as a member of the Hazara race, he and Hassan have been ridiculed for something that they have no control of. They've been called lots of names, horrible ones. Because they were considered as the lowest class, little was known about the Hazaras' history. Amir barely heard any knowledge about them in class. So, when he found an entire chapter dedicated to Hassan's race hidden in his father's study room, he learned about how the Pashtuns, his own race, persecuted and oppressed the Hazaras because of their difference in belief. The Pashtuns are Sunni Muslims, while the Hazaras are Shia Muslims. I did not know how Ali and Hassan can go about their daily lives, hearing insults and mockery whenever they go. It must have been a painful and traumatic experience. What's more, even his wife despised him. It was said that Sinaubar would also mock and sneer at him. But when Hassan was born, there was only one midwife to oversee the birthing, and Hassan was born on a stained and naked mattress. But despite that, Hassan has been the light at the end of the tunnel for Ali. For Ali, he was, as the book calls it, his antidote. Sadly, Hassan was, how do you call it? Has cleft lip that caused his own mother to loathe and mock him. His own mother refused to even hold him, and then 5 days later, she vanished, never to be seen again. Amir and Hassan, both left without mothers, were fed in the same breasts, took their first steps in the same yard. They were not brothers by blood, but it seems that they have a special bond that binds them together. Because while Amir's first words was Baba, Hassan's word was his friend's name. And as Amir looks back on that fateful day, that must have been the starting point of when things went downhill, not just for him, but for Hassan and Ali as well. That sounds like a foreshadowing, something that will happen in the following chapters. What do you guys think?
Oh, wow. All of the sins are so heavy on the heart, but it ended in such a wholesome way. Well, if that's the way I see it. All of them have difficult lives that are really hard to go through, but then as a reader, it was really interesting to read for the next chapter. I won't really say anything because it feels like a spoiler if I do.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward for the next chapters and very excited to see how Hassan and Amir relationship will develop. As for today's literary escapade, we hope that you enjoyed diving with us into the enchanting world of books and listening to us ramble on and on about books. Again,
As we reach the end of this episode, we want to remind you that books are more than just ink on paper or words on a screen. They have the power to challenge our perspectives, ignite our imagination, and transport us to new realms, or maybe what you can call your own utopia.
So, if you have discovered a new book, we'd love to hear about it. DM us on any social media platform at Booktopia and let's keep the escapade going.
Until then,
happy
happy
reading!
reading!